It is Thursday, February 20th, 2020, and you are tuned into DIRTRACKR Daily. I'm Justin Fiedler. It is Thursday, so getting closer to that weekend. Hope everybody has had a good week so far. Incredible news yesterday. I don't know if, I'm sure you saw if you are on social media at all, but Ryan Newman yesterday walked out of the Halifax Medical Center in Daytona with his daughters on each hand. Pretty incredible to see that after what we saw on Monday night at the Daytona 500. Great to see Newman walk out of the hospital. Obviously, tons of social media chatter about it. But incredible story, and obviously Newman has a big connection to the dirt world, and this has been kind of a national story all week. I mean, you've seen outlets like CNN and some of the bigger news outlets reporting about this and his condition through the week. But great to see that for Ryan Newman, and hopefully get to see him back in a car soon. Obviously, this isn't dirt, but Ross Chastain will fill in for him in that number 6 car this weekend at Las Vegas. Speaking of Las Vegas, this is my final show for the week, as I will be traveling to Las Vegas tomorrow. So I will be back again on Monday with a fresh show. Looking at some news items, the IMCA show at Texas Motor Speedway last night, I'm guessing rained out, says inclement weather, pushed to Thursday. So if you are interested in the Lone Star Stock Car Tour, easy for me to say, show from Texas Motor Speedway, they have moved that back to tonight, Thursday. So you can check that out on Speed Shift. I want to kind of do a little bit of a rundown of what is kind of some racing action going on this weekend. Also kind of run you through all your pay-per-view options as well. I want to mention there was a kind of a neat tweet that came out yesterday that some people were talking about. Tyler Millwood is a late model driver from Georgia. He went down and ran the 2 nights at Screven, one Lucas night at Alltech, and then ran all 6 late model nights at Volusia. And he tweeted out, I think a little tongue-in-cheek, but tweeted out, kind of his expenses for the week. Interesting to kind of take a look at these numbers, and I wanted to kind of run through the numbers and then take a look at his results for the week. But so his tweet says, Speedweeks 2020 recap. It's at Tyler Millwood 31 on Twitter if you're curious. Speedweeks 2020 recap. Tire bill $6,000, fuel bill $3,000, parts bill $5,000. And then this is where it gets good. Steak on a stick and milkshakes, $700. Beer bill, $347. Entry fees, $660. Pit passes, $1,200. And then it just says total income, see you in 2021 Florida. But a lot of people tweeting at him about this. The beer bill, a little low for what equates to probably 9 or 10 nights, are only $347. So I think we need to work on the beer bill a little bit. But if you add this up, $16,907, so just shy $17,000. If you average that out over the nights, that was $1,878.56 a night on average. Tyler finished, first night at Screven, he was 20th in the feature. Second night at Screven, he was 15th in the feature. Those were the 2 non-sanctioned shows that ran at Screven that Brandon Overton swept that weekend. He moved down to Alltech in Florida. He finished 5th in the B in that Lucas show at Alltech, and then moved over to Volusia for the week. The first 2 nights at Volusia were the dirt car nights. First night, he finished 12th in a B. Second night, he finished 23rd in the feature. And then the third night, when it became World of Outlaws nights, he was 3rd in the B the first night, 6th in the B second night, 4th in the B third night, and then 8th in the B on the final night. So obviously a little bit of a struggle. I'm sure Tyler would have liked to have run a little bit better, but interesting to kind of take a look at some of the numbers for the week and see kind of what it costs. I would imagine this probably isn't all of his expenses for the week, but interesting kind of take a look at what some idea of the numbers associated with what it takes to run some of these cars. And we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday with the kind of the features and the benefits of being a full-time driver on a series. And these kind of topics this topic of money and what it costs and things like that come up, periodically. Fans are obviously curious, and it's interesting. It seems like drivers and owners are almost a little bit secretive about some of these numbers and what exactly it costs on a night-to-night basis to run some of these teams. And so anytime you kind of get a little sneak peek into what it costs, and what the numbers kind of associated with racing look like, it's always kind of a little bit of a topic of conversation, and people kind of latch onto it. We've seen this, in the sprint car world a few times when some teams have talked about money and numbers, and what they get for sponsorship and what they can get for prize money on a night-to-night basis. But I think the thing to realize here is and as I mentioned yesterday, if you want to make a small fortune in racing, start with a big one. This is not a money making venture for most people. I think if you're at the front of of the Lucasfield or one of the World of Outlaws series, or something like that, where you're winning big money races and you've got some decent sponsorship and things like that, you could probably break even, maybe make a little bit of money if you're a team owner. But obviously not a ton of money to be made out there, and it gives you an idea of what it costs for these guys to get these cars up and down the road. And somebody like Tyler Millwood, he runs around the Southeast a lot. You'll see him, at places like Eldora once in a while, and towing down to Florida and things like that. And, he's, a great example, I think, of a late model driver that, that obviously there are a large number of across the country that are, want to race and want to race in some of these big shows. And it's not easy, and I'm sure Tyler, prepares his stuff well and has nice cars and things like that, and just shows how difficult it is on a night-to-night basis to compete with these guys. But interesting numbers from Tyler, and like I said, if you want to go check that tweet out, at TylerMillwood31 on Twitter. I want to run through kind of the racing action. It feels like there's really not much going on right now, and it feels that way just simply because the big series aren't in action. There's no USAC stuff going on, no big late model action, especially this weekend. And World of Outlaws sprint cars aren't racing again here for a couple of weeks. So, but I wanted to kind of take a look at the schedule and just see what is going on. And I wanted to kind of clue you in on a couple of places where you can go check out some information if you want to see like some other races that are going on. Dirt on Dirt, if you're curious about late model stuff, they have a great schedule on their site. Just go to Dirt on Dirt, and if you click on the schedule in the top right menu, they've got it basically broken down by region. They've got all the national series. They've got kind of all the regional series, and then they have it by month. And it's actually pretty cool. You click on it, and they've got all of the races, and then as winners and results and stuff come in, they fill all that stuff in, so you can go back and check out past results and things like that too. So if you're curious about late model action going on Dirt is a great place. The other place I wanted to kind of call out for, if you're more interested in some open wheel stuff, tjslideways.com. TJ does a great job with his All-Star Performance calendar. He keeps up with a lot of the open wheel stuff going on, and has a massive schedule that includes not only American, U.S. action, but also keeps up with a lot of the Australia and New Zealand stuff going on as well. So go to his site, tjslideways.com, click on the All-Star Performance calendar in the menu, or go to tjslideways.com/schedule, and he's got a full list of everything that's going on. It's pretty great. I think it's important to understand here too that when you have this amount of races, these guys are going to do the best they can to try to keep this updated. But as things change and calendars get moved and things get rained out, obviously you're going to have some issues once in a while with keeping these 100% up to date. But these guys do a great job. So again, if you're looking for full late model stuff, check out Dirt on Dirt, and then TJ Slideways has a good open wheel calendar. But kind of running through the events for this weekend, the All-Star Racing Series late models, they're at Crossroads Motor Park Speedway in Mississippi Friday night and Saturday night. UCRA late models at Fort Payne Motor Speedway in Alabama Saturday and Sunday. The Southwest Dirt Racing Association late models are at Arizona Speedway Friday night and Saturday. All of this stuff is races that are happening this weekend. Keller Auto Speedway has 360 sprint cars and Race Saver sprints on Saturday night. Stockton also has 360 action on Saturday. And then Lone Star Speedway in Texas has Wing 305 sprint cars. All of that information you can find on the schedules that I just mentioned. There's obviously some other shows going on as well. I will mention those here as we look at our pay-per-view schedule for the weekend. Dirt Vision has Australian V8 Dirt Modifieds. They have a big championship race at Valvoline Raceway Friday and Saturday. You can watch that live on Dirt Vision from Valvoline Raceway. And then there is also on Saturday the Ultimate Sprint Cars Round 4 for the Queensland region. They've got Twin 25 features at Toowoomba Speedway. So those three shows are live on Dirt Vision. And then Speed Shift has a busy weekend. Like I mentioned earlier, that Lone Star Stock Car Tour race is tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. They've also got Super Saloons from Woodford Glen on Friday. Actually, or no, not Friday, today. They've got Perth Motorplex has World Series Sprint Cars. They've got the Lone Star Stock Car Tour from Monarch Speedway. They've got All-Tech Raceway, has what they're calling the Borderline Brawl, pure stocks and C-Class light models. Woodford Glen again on the 21st. Speed Shift also has the Lincoln Speedway Icebreaker 30 from Saturday, 4,000 to 1, 410 sprints, kind of the PA Central PA season opener there at Lincoln. And then they've got Perth World Series Sprint Cars on the 22nd. They've got that Stockton show, which I mentioned earlier on here. USCS Sprint Cars from Dothan Motor Speedway. That's on Speed Shift. Let me click here a little further down. They've also got action from Cannondale Speedway for the Lone Star Stock Car Tour and the second day of the Borderline Brawl from All-Tech Raceway. So busy weekend. If you have a Speed Shift membership, go check that out. Tons of different stuff going on there, plus the 3 shows on Dirt Vision. So plenty to watch, plenty to keep up with, even though a lot of the big series aren't racing. And obviously a point to keep in mind on a weekly basis. Honestly, a night-to-night basis through the season is there's plenty of racing to watch and to take part in and to be a part of. So, check out your local schedules for your tracks near you and things like Speed Shift and Dirt Vision. There's going to be plenty of racing to keep up with. Podcasts this week, lots of good stuff. Wing Nation has Mark Smith and Aaron Reitzel. Mark Smith had some success down there in Florida. Obviously, Aaron Reitzel had a big week as well between the All-Star shows at Volusia and at East Bay. So he's on Wing Nation. Rip Defense has Terry Lingner, who worked at ESPN for a long time. He produced some of those Thunder broadcasts that included a lot of USAC shows. And I believe he's currently a producer for NBC's coverage of the IndyCar series. He's on Rip Defense. And then for Open Red, we had Parker Price Miller yesterday. So good conversation with Parker. So check those out. I'm going to call it a week here. Hope everybody has a good rest of the week and a good weekend. Hopefully check out some of that action. And I will see everybody on Monday when I get back from Las Vegas. You can find DIRTRACKR Daily on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or where you get podcasts. Please subscribe, leave me a review, and tell your friends. You can also watch the show on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate everybody that's been subscribing and checking the show out. You can follow along with Dirt Tracker itself at facebook.com/DirtTracker and twitter.com/DirtTracker, and the website dirttracker.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Justin_Fiedler. Plus, check out the Dirt Tracker weekly newsletter. That sign up is live on the website right now. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next week on DIRTRACKR Daily.